I'm here today at the beautiful St. John's Cathedral in downtown Fresno, California. And you have to come here sometime and really get a good look at all of the beautiful artwork that is in this church. I can try to show you just a little bit. There's lovely frescoes. Just a glorious old building. But what we're really here for is to take a look at this organ. This is a Rodgers Model 900. It was built in 1980 and originally was installed at Fresno City College. And I actually attended the dedication recital of this instrument when it was there. The school decided that they didn't want it, and it was brought down here to St. John's to replace a very, very old electronic instrument built in the 50s. This church has had kind of an interesting history with organs. The building really wasn't built with much space for an organ. We're up here in the balcony in the rear, and there is no really dedicated space to place an organ. At the time when this was built, the Catholic liturgy really didn't include congregational singing. And so at most you would maybe have a children's choir and a small instrument of some kind to accompany that. But of course, as the liturgy changed and evolved, congregational singing became the emphasis. There were a couple of different pipe organ installations that were to varying degrees of success. And when the building had to be fully restored and earthquake retrofitted and all of those things, the last pipe organ that was in here was taken out. An unfortunate choice was made for an electronic instrument. They just grabbed something that was available and really was not suitable. So this is really a much, much needed improvement over what was most recently here. However, this instrument is 40 years old, and so we need to take a look at what kind of condition it's in and take a look at what we can expect in the future. So let's take a look inside here. Like all analog instruments, it's packed with a lot of stuff. So we have a row of oscillators down here. And just like my 725, if you want to take a look at that video, which I can show you a little bit better view, there are the RC type oscillators for the low notes and the LC type oscillators for the higher notes. Then there's another set of oscillators in the middle of this second panel. Same setup, the RC type oscillators on the bottom, LC type on the top. And then we have a set of oscillators for the Celeste. And that is again RC type on the bottom, LC type on the top. Then you see all of these cards sticking out here, all of these circuit cards. These are part of this is the filter and keying system for all of the various voices on the organ. So all of the voices are divided up between those two sets of oscillators, and the oscillators are labeled main and ensemble. And so about half the stops are derived from one set, the other half is derived from the other, and then of course the Celeste stops are all derived from the Celeste rank. All of that sums up on these preamp circuits over here and then goes out to amplifiers, which are over in the back here along with the external speaker system. So let's take a look at that. So right here we have this panel just beyond the door there, and it runs the width of our balcony coming up to this other door. Behind the high spots, we have a big subwoofer cabinet here. Then we have a series of the M6 and M10 style speakers. One for each division, a pair for each division, one M6, one M10. And then we have another big subwoofer cabinet. And then we have this big horn driver type speaker, and that's for the solo trumpet to give brightness and dimension to that reed. Taking a closer look at the console, it's been kept in very good condition. Furniture-wise, the finish is in good shape. There's no giant nicks or gouges or anybody's initials carved into the top, which often happens when it's at college. The keyboards on this instrument are the nice wood core keys, and the draw knobs are the lighted type. So they come on, light comes on, put it off, light goes off. Pedal board, toe studs, split expression, and crescendo. A very, very complete instrument. Taking an up-close look at the various circuit boards. This is the back side. All those little dots there are the back side of the LC type oscillators. Over here is the RC type. And then these circuits here, these are the routings for the various voice filter keyer cards. Again, everything looks to be in good condition. I'm not seeing any like really obvious places where any major repairs or jerry rigs had to be done. It appears to just be all original and very well kept. So a little more light on the subject. We can see that again, looking at the front side of the inside circuit board. Again, everything appears to be in pretty good condition. All original, just well kept. Looking in here, that's the back side of the keyboards. So overall, I do have to say that this instrument is in pretty darn good condition, especially for being, well, exactly 39, going on 40. What can we expect in the future? Well, unfortunately, we're starting to get into the spare parts for this, especially in the electronics, are going to start to be an issue. Draw knobs, keyboards, those kinds of things, you know, those are basic console parts. That kind of stuff can be kept up with off-the-shelf stuff. And for that matter, you could wholesale replace the keyboards and draw knobs and other controls if that were somehow necessary or desirable. When we get into the guts of the instrument, well, that's where we get into a different matter. Now, as long as we can get parts and keep this thing going, no problem. The factory does still supply some parts. There are also other aftermarket parts suppliers that have some of these components. And a great deal of what is in here is kind of off-the-shelf stuff. But some of the specialty things. This is a McCasco organ. It has a central processor that runs everything and communicates between what the organist is asking for at the keyboard and what the tone generator system is actually doing. That starts to get into older microprocessors that are not made anymore. There are warehouses that still have them, and it's unlikely that that's going to specifically be a problem, but it can be. I have already been here several times for a couple of little miscellaneous repairs, and on anything this old, you could certainly expect that. So it may be time to start thinking about something else for this church. If you like what I'm doing and you want to support my efforts, first subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need to reach 1,000 subscribers before I can monetize the page and start bringing in some income from YouTube. If you want to support me right away, go over to Patreon and sign up there. It only costs a few dollars a month to get exclusive content that you will not see anywhere else, and you'll be the first to enjoy clips of my upcoming shows and my original music projects before they're released to the general public. So thank you for watching today, and we'll see you next time.